The joy of living is the gratitude of the moment. Layla Gifty Akita. When I was very young, like around 3 or 4, I would beg my mother every time it rained to let me go stand outside in the rain. I know it sounds weird. I was probably a weird kid. But the rain, it's like it was calling me. And I really wanted to go outside and stand in the rain. So after a million no's, my mother finally said, okay, fine. I'm going to put you in your raincoat, your little rain hat, and your galoshes, and you go stand outside the rain for 5 minutes. I was all excited. So she bundled me all up, and I remember standing out in the front lawn, as if it were yesterday, in the rain of our house in Cutler Ridge, Miami, Florida. That was pretty spectacular. It was the most calm, peaceful thing I'd ever experienced. And even though at my tender age of 3, it's an experience that I never, ever forgot. The rain was so gentle and peaceful. It was an absolute gorgeous moment. And I would say that was probably my very first meditation. As many years have passed that magical day, just the other day, I went outside to meditate, and I found the same kind of magic. Here's what happened. I was sitting in my porch swing, actually, that's under a big oak tree that I have in the front lawn. It was early in the morning, and I had just fed my horses, and they were out there in the pasture grazing in the area that I was sitting in my swing. I had my headphones on and my phone, and I was doing a meditation of gratitude. It was a gorgeous day. It was not too hot. The birds were chirping. And as I sat there really loving my gratitude meditation, all of a sudden it started raining. But it was a very soft, very gentle rain. It was very quiet. My first inclination was, of course, to get up and run inside the house. But my horses didn't move. They were into it. And I thought, wow, I do love the rain. Why not? I wasn't really getting too wet. So I sat on my swing with my headphones, still doing my meditation, but I could actually hear the softness of the rain falling on the trees and on the grass. It was the coolest thing I have ever done, like since the age of 3. It was such a neat moment. The energy that I felt from that moment, the state of mind that I got into, the way it touched my soul and my heart. I had so much joy. And standing close to me were my horses. They were unscathed, without one single worry or thought about that rain. And I knew I was safe because, nothing bad was going to happen. And if it did, something was coming, I knew to watch my horses' signals. They would tell me if something was going to happen, and then I would react that way. This meditation was so special, it's really kind of hard to put into words. My horses came over and hung out around me, and I just sat there enjoying that moment. And it was just really calming. I loved it. I did not want to leave that spot. And when I was finished, that feeling stayed with me the entire day. Sometimes I think that we are so conditioned by our external life that we forget really how to try new things and trust and just let go and enjoy. Meditating in the rain put me into such a high frequency of energy and abundance and feelings that, like I said, it was really hard to put into words, but it is something that stayed with me for the entire day and was so impactful on me that I really had to write a blog about it. For me, it brought back one of my all-time favorite childhood memories. I was like 3, 4 years old. I didn't have a whole bunch of childhood memories that I really could say were great, but this one was really special because it was just me and the rain. And I think it's good sometimes to go back to childhood memories, especially the wonderful ones, and think about those moments of innocence and how we had awe. As kids, we had awe. We lose that when we grow up. So here's my question. How many times have you just gone for it? Threw caution to the wind, took a leap of faith? How many times have you let someone talk you out of doing something, talk you out of your heart's desire? Were you more afraid of disappointing them, or were you even concerned of disappointing yourself? As children, we never like to disappoint our parents. But once we reach adolescence and become teenagers, oh, game over. We're all challenged. But that's the way we're supposed to be. That's how kids test themselves to show how much they can step out into the world and be independent. I know it's exhausting, but you want your kids to challenge you a little bit because they're testing the water. Can they step out? Are you going to support them? And can they do it? Do you believe that they can do it? Then after we grow up and we go off onto our own and we've had a little bit of world experience, we kind of figure out some things that we want to do. Well, are you afraid to step into the unknown and take a risk and do those things? Wouldn't it be nice to be totally free and say, yes, I'm going to try that, or I'm going to speak my mind and say these things to this person who's been making me feel bad for a long time. And I know that they're going to love me unconditionally and they're going to listen to me and they're going to say, I'm sorry. Don't you wish you had that freedom? Do you have people in your life like that? Or are you so worried that they're going to turn you down and put you down and not love you and say, I'm not going to be around you anymore because you're not doing what I want you to do? That's the difference between conditional and unconditional love. I say, if it makes you happy, if it makes you feel like a god, if it makes you feel really alive, go for it. I'm not talking about anything illegal or dangerous. I'm talking about joy, living life, having some passion, trying something new. Be who you are. Remember to say to yourself, I am. I am who I am, and being comfortable in your own skin. Because in the end, it's your life and your path. It's all about remembering who you are. You are a child of God. You're a child of the universe. You are a soul with contracts and making those things happen in your life, making mistakes, learning, becoming who you're supposed to become. Something very important too is learning how to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes. We all have some regrets. But you can't live life like that. Learn to forgive yourself. Whatever happened in your life, you did what you needed to do at that time. So forgive yourself. Let it go. And start living in the moment. You know, my horses live in the moment every day. Because every day they wake up and they're not sure if somebody's coming to eat them. We don't really have to worry about that. But it's better if we live in the moment and stop living in our past. So live in your moment. Go ahead. Sit in the rain. Get wet. I highly recommend it. Now, if you're new to meditation, some people, get a little nervous about it because they're like, oh, I have so many things in my head. I can't turn off my head. I'm worried about finances and work and today's events. And this is what meditation is for. It's for you to take this quiet moment for yourself. Okay? Now, there's some wonderful guided meditations. I mean, this is how I started being able to meditate correctly years ago. So what I recommend is YouTube. Believe it or not, I'm a big YouTube fan, as you can tell. I love the Wayne Dyer, I Am That I Am. It's got some beautiful music to it, and you can do a 20-minute meditation or you can do a 40-minute meditation. He lets you decide, and you can use it as just being quiet and listening to the music, or you can use it for manifestation. So either way, it's a wonderful meditation. Another one that I really love is the Power Thoughts Meditation Club. I recommend these to my clients, as a matter of fact. I have clients with some anxiety issues and stress issues and some with some anger issues. And instead of running and getting on medication, I really like people to try meditation first. I always like to take the conservative approach first and helping work with somebody. The Power Thoughts meditation, Kenneth Suarez does the readings on those, and he's got several meditations you can choose from. I love the one, I Am Unstoppable Courage. And the other one I love is the Inner Child. The Inner Child one, that's a regular meditation for your inner child. I also do an inner child technique with people for healing that inner child. So it's kind of along these ways. Your inner child is you, basically. It's that little child inside of you that we oftentimes forget. And when we ignore that child and we've gone through some traumatic things, and we ignore that child will grow up and, just become very rebellious. This is why we'll end up with alcoholism, drug problems, recklessness, abuse, self-destruction, terrible things like that. So once we reacquaint ourselves with our inner child and we make peace with them and we decide that we're going to love that child again, basically that's where we discover self-love. So if you want to use the guided meditations, basically you're going to sit in this position with your legs crossed and your arms resting on your knees. You can also lay down. Sometimes I lay down, but there is always the danger of falling asleep. But it doesn't really matter because obviously you're in such a relaxed state that you needed to probably fall asleep. So, and if you're listening to a guided meditation and you fall asleep, that's good. Your subconscious will pick it up. So all those positive affirmations will still, be totally absorbed by your brain. Okay, so. How are we going to meditate with the guided meditation? We're just going to sit. Headphones are preferable so that you're not interrupted or distracted by anything else. So sit with your headphones on, you close your eyes, and breath is very important. So you take a deep breath. And blow it out. You'll be amazed if you're having a very stressful day. Once you start breathing that air out of your body, you're basically blowing away that stress and the anxiety. It's incredibly helpful. Even if you're in pain, breathing the pain out can be very, very healing. It can really help you reduce that pain a lot, okay? So close your eyes, deep breath, blow out. And then just get quiet and listen to the guided meditation. Now, if you don't want to use a guided meditation, that's okay too. I love just being quiet sometimes too. And I recommend this to a lot of my clients. Sit in the same position, breathe in, breathe out, and just sit and listen to the quiet, the silence. Sometimes you can hear birds in the background. Sometimes you can hear the rain. Sometimes you can hear the wind blowing. It's incredibly peaceful, and it really will help you to calm down and find some peace within you. So try it. Try meditation. I think it's something really good to add to your life. I mean, it's really a wonderful way to bring more peace, more calmness, joy. And it's okay to meditate with gratitude too. Even if you only have 5 minutes, I'm so thankful for this, I'm so thankful for that. So add that into your daily routine, and you're going to see a big difference in how you feel. Let's talk about the book. So I usually like to recommend a book. Today I'm going to recommend some meditations because we're talking about meditations. So I'm a big fan of YouTube, as many of you are, i.e. you're watching me on YouTube. But I found a lot of great guided meditations on YouTube, and so I'm going to make a couple of recommendations to you. If you're just getting started with meditations, these are some really good ones just to put on your list of places you can go, all right? I love the Wayne Dyer, I Am That I Am, and you can find that just under Wayne Dyer, I Am That I Am meditation. You can also put down the Power Thoughts Meditation Club with Kenneth Suarez, and he's got a lot of great meditations that you can also use. I like the guided ones better, and like I said, if you can only spend 5 minutes, that's okay. Kenneth, with Power Thoughts Meditation, also has an inner child meditation, which is really wonderful. Now, I use an inner child technique when I work with people. This is a really good meditation, though, that you can do right now, in your home. And make sure that when you are meditating, you're in a quiet place so that no one is going to interrupt you. Our inner child is that little child inside of us that we oftentimes forget. And when we're unhappy and we have unresolved issues, that little inner child is going to act up. This is why we become drug addicts. This is why we become alcoholics. This is why we become reckless and abusive. And we ignore ourselves and become self-destructive many times. But once you reconnect with that inner child and you show that child that you love it, basically you're saying to yourself, I'm going to love myself. That's where self-love comes in. So try these meditations. Don't forget the Wayne Dyer, I am that I am. Wonderful ways to quiet your mind, quiet your soul, and it will truly help reduce the anxiety and the stress in your life. A great mantra that I love to use, especially when you're having one of those days, stop, get quiet, and just say, everything is always working out for me. And believe it. Feel that in your heart. That's how you are able to start manifesting great things in your life. Visit my website. It is CoachGinaMartel.net. You can also visit my Facebook page. It is Coach Gina Martel. And if you'd like to send me off a question, maybe you'd like to book a session with me, my email address is ginaemartel@gmail.com. I also have a talk show that I do on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 11. It is on WSBR. Actually, it's out of Palm Beach, Florida. But you can find us on iHeartRadio and iTunes, and you just type in for the search WSBR. I'm an equine assisted life and relationship coach, so I use my horses for my coaching. I'm also an NLP practitioner and a life coach, and I'm certified in all three. So go live in the moment. Go live your life with unconditional love and accept only unconditional love. Thank you for joining me. God bless you a million times.